It will be an RFC, RFI, request for information, request for comment. Not really going to include the name of the subject matter in it because it's mostly for people who've already seen the channel. These are images that were taken sometime after this crime scene do not cross tape was put up. And this is the far left-hand side of it as you go down the hill towards the river. And that's basically an assumption. I do not know of a complete list of images. The place I got most of these images from has a note on it saying, I was sent these images, I can't vouch for them, and if they put a red circle on something, I don't know why, so please don't ask me. And they're the best we have to work with that could be used for a lineup from something that happened in 2017. So this is the far left edge, and you can't see where it's tied off at that edge. Now we'll go to the next image. This is somewhere in the middle, aiming down the hill and towards the stream, most likely. I can't confirm it, but I can estimate it reasonably well. There are a lot of things here that could be used to find the location, but someone not going through the effort of literally doing a lockstep walk across to do a full 3D grab of this, that's a little bit odd. Even news reporters, especially photographers, know to do that. They don't just frame an image for being aesthetically pleasing. They literally do it so that you can get information out of it. For instance, in the middle and off to the right there, you can see that there's a stump across at the river, across on the other side of the river. I mean, that could be significant. This is the wide angle shot, barely, and I'm going to have to use the pointer. Sorry about that. It shows way over here, that line we were looking at first, right over there. And then this mid area, I don't know where the photo was taken from, but we could say it might be here. Then over here is the corner where it turns, and it attaches to a small tree and goes around a larger tree, and then goes out here and connects over there. And you'll see things that coordinate with that correctly. And I'll also do zoom in on this in a minute. But there's some things to notice in here as visual landmarks. Right here is what looks like a tree that's been growed up, bent, and is stuck that way. A very obvious log here that's laying down that you might want to use as a reference point, and several of them aiming this way over here. And basically, that's about it. I mean, there's not much to work with, but there is this downed tree here. I'll try to point it out in the next image, or the next set of images. This is the corner there where it goes around, and you can see that there's this tree here, and there looks like a little clump of trees over there. So let's back up one notch. So that would correspond with that being the clump of trees, and again, that being the tree, it's going around there, but it's not quite at the corner. It's hidden behind these. So that gives you an idea why I'm having a lot of trouble with this. And I don't even know that for a fact. But it shows that it ties down over here, and you can see that the tie-off is on this side, over here on the left side, of that tree at the far end. So we're going to see some more images that were taken that in the area. That's from the opposite perspective. We're almost exactly looking straight at each other. The person who took that photo that you're seeing in a second was sitting there. And there appears to be a piece of wood crossing in front of us. So when we look, it's kind of hard to see. We're not rightly lined up with that. When we do this, this, we can see some of those things matching up. Now, this one again is looking at the corner there, and most of the stuff does match up. I need to have better quality images, closer images, higher quality, but these are pretty good. You'll be able to click the links in the description. And I'm going to throw a copy of all of these images, because some of them are being aggressively copy protected off of the internet, which really bugs me. This is, I would consider it evidence, so it shouldn't be copy protected like that. Anyway, this is a very blurry image of the tie-off, and it looks like it's on the wrong side, because it should be on the opposite side of that piece of wood. And there we see it there, and in the next image we see it over there, but it's in front of it. So that's why it looks like it could be in front or to the left. It's mostly on the opposite side of it. So we're now on the far right bank looking at the crime scene, and in the background you can see the other crime scene tape in the distance. And the person is standing here is on an edge that seems to be going downhill towards the stream. Then we see we're standing at that tie-off point on that little tree there, and this does actually match up with the other images so far. I don't know if anybody's done any full analysis of any of this. This is on the opposite side looking up the hill, and this does give you a good view of the areas that the photos are being taken from. In fact, one of the photos you might have seen already looks like the photographer that took one of these photos. I need a complete collection of all of the images from original unedited files. No cut and pasting, no logos from ABC. Yes, ABC, this is an image free of your logo. This is from your video. And on that note, this is a frame from a video, and this is another frame from the same video. The connection point, when you connect these together to stitch them together, I'm using arbitrarily that tree, which corresponds to this tree. And then I ended up with this abomination here. The fact that I have to eke this stuff out instead of it being a complete list or pile of images bothers me. So what I'm requesting is, and by the way, we're now looking, if you look way over there, let's back that up. That's that edge over there that was tied off in the first image we're going to see in a second, which is this one. So unless anybody else out there knows of a better collection, I'm just going to post these. These are the best I could do, and this took me all day, and that means I suck. I got most of these from 2 or 3 blogs that are covering the subject that I'm not mentioning in the video. And I need to know if there's an original source for any of them, and if anybody made note of who took the photo, where, and when. Because the shadows don't line up necessarily. And some of the images say this was, 2 weeks later and the crime scene tape still up, that sort of thing. And I'm going to advise everybody here, this is a very good, I'm going to call this a teaching moment, even though I'm not a teacher. I'm just going to zoom in here real quick. By the way, I'd like to point out that you can see a limb here that's really close to the person. It's a lot smaller than it looks, honestly, but it doesn't seem to match up. So I'm going to, yes, computer. God, you're a clumsy user interface. So anyway, that's the best panoramic view we've got. Okay. Immediately after an incident happens in your city, state, or county, I'm going to call this video an analysis of crime scene investigation photos done by citizen scientists or citizen sleuthers. Make yourself go out to the location and take photos that take in the entire thing. Panoramic view. Do not use, under any conditions, standard webcam or cell phone camera imaging. You will take a landscape image. Number one, you take it from corner to corner if it's got a right angle to it or something like this. You go on each side and take reference images. You then take them literally a foot apart or 2 feet apart so that you go to the left or right and mark them down so it creates a 3-dimensional image that you could put in parallel to each other to where we could look at them and say, oh, I can see this and visually take in the environment. It takes 2 photos to make this not have to be done by me in my head. Next, if they're not restricting you or the press from going down there, if you're a member of the press, you owe it to everybody you take a photo for, all of us that are consuming it. It's not your company that you work for, to take all those photos and at a later date, without their permission, upload them as your work because you took the photos so that we have them. It's very frustrating when someone says, I know something about this image because of 3 blurry pictures in a JPEG. No JPEGs. You have to shoot raw images, you have to save them, you have to prevent your boss from destroying the data you collected, because even if it's not evidence, it was collected and will be usable as an ability to remove any ambiguity here. There's enough information here for me to uniquely identify it from images that were taken a couple of weeks later via aircraft and are available on Google Earth. But the thing that bugs me is somebody didn't go out of their way to go out to the location, take photos while they were approaching, and make note, oh, by the way, here it is on the map. Leaving any ambiguity and making sure that there's a bunch of conflicting information in the first few days after something happens to where we can't say for certain what we're looking at or where it was and have it completely eliminated as far as ambiguity. Not having that ability X number of years later should not be able to happen. This is the internet age. We can do this. I'll try to do a set of examples on my own channel because I should be able to do this pretty easy, even with a crap camera that's built into my computer. But that photographer down there could have easily done this all in one shot, and probably did. If anybody knows where the raw images are, preferably from the original photographers, I need them. If you have any amateur web sleuths that went out there, good. If they didn't photograph it in a method that does wide angle, they need to learn to use wide angle. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I'm not trying to insult anybody, but this is very frustrating when people ask me, can you do this with these images and confirm your hypothesis of where it was? I'm having a lot of difficulty. This is probably the reason this is so hard, at least for me, and maybe for some of you. Thanks for watching. Good day.